In the headlines, federal government universities to open soon. Senate to screen ministerial nominees next Wednesday. President jets out to Rwanda for Commonwealth Summit. And on the foreign scene, death toll from Afghanistan earthquake kills 1,000, injures 1,500. Hello and welcome to Trust TV News Update. I am Ibrahim Yusuf. Hello and welcome once again. The federal government is sticking its neck out that academic activities will soon resume in earnest because of its commitment to resolve contending issues with the university-based unions. Minister of Labour and Employment, Senator Chris Ngige, gave assurances on Wednesday while fielding questions from newsmen at State House Abuja at the end of the Federal Executive Council meeting. The meeting was presided over by President Muhammadu Buhari at the council chambers of the Presidential Villa, Abuja. The minister said contrary to impressions, government is still engaging the Academic Staff Union of Universities over issues in dispute that led to the strike. But Ngige stressed that he was expecting reports from the Ministry of Education, the National Information and Development Agency, NITDA, and the lecturers over the issues. He said government has summoned all the relevant agencies to a meeting on Thursday to brief it on the successes so far recorded in resolving the contentious issues. The minister said he was sure a resolution will soon be found to the lingering strike.
I have not gotten back any of the reports from education, from salary, incomes and wages, nor from ASU, because they're also supposed to report to me if there is anything untoward going on. I have not gotten any report. So, but on the government side, we are calling up a meeting tomorrow so that everybody in government side can report if he or she has a problem, so we know how to address it. So it is not true that nobody is talking to us, as this chief labor correspondent have alluded to. It's totally wrong. He knows we are talking to us.
The Senate will next week, Wednesday, screen the 7 ministerial nominees forwarded to the chamber by President Muhammadu Buhari for confirmation. Senate President Ahmed Lawan stated this in an announcement on Wednesday, moments before the Senate adjourned plenary. The report.
President Buhari had, in a letter dated 15 June 2022, requested the Senate to confirm the nomination of 7 ministerial nominees. The nominees are to be screened individually by the upper chamber during plenary.
The screening of ministerial nominees on Wednesday next week.
Meanwhile, the Senate now has 5 minority parties. This comes as 2 senators from Bauchi and Imo State resigned their membership of the All Progressives Congress, APC, and the People's Democratic Party, PDP, respectively. The lawmakers are Senator Dauda Chika, representing Bauchi Central, and Senator Ezenwa Francis Onyewuchi, representing Imo East Senatorial District. Both senators, in separate letters to the Senate President, indicated that to join the Labour Party and the New Nigerian People's Party, respectively.
Your Excellency, Mr. President, letter of defection. Letter of defection. I wish to inform Mr. President and distinguished senators of my defection from the People's Democratic Party, PDP, to the Labour Party, LP. This is after due consultation with my family, constituents, and supporters. This will enable me to participate fully in the movement for a new Nigeria. Accept the assurance of my highest esteem, signed Senator Ezenwa Onyewuchi. I hereby wish to notify you of my defection from the All Progressives Congress, APC, to the New Nigeria People's Party, whose ideals is in line with my political aspirations. Please accept the assurances of my esteemed personal regards. Signed, Senator Haliru Dauda Jika, FNSE, Doka Bauchi.
The defections bring the number of APC senators to 66, with members of the minority parties standing at 43.
Bauchi State Government has uncovered 1,418 ghost workers on its nominal payroll in the state civil service. This was disclosed by the Secretary to the State Government, Ibrahim Kashim, during a press briefing organized by a labor union in Bauchi. Adamu Imam reports.
The SSG disclosed that the administration was able to reduce its expenditure cost on both local and state government level from 3.5 billion naira to 2.8 billion naira and from 3.2 billion to 2.9 billion naira respectively. Kashim explained that the government have now established a desk complaint unit at every MDS for receiving complaints from genuine staff pertaining to salaries.
The 20 local governments was cleaned up. The syndrome of ghost workers in the local governments and replacing names of people after people had died or had retired was eliminated. And the local governments were trained and were empowered to be paying their salaries. As of today, we are proud to say that the 20 local governments are paying their salaries, the chairmen are paying their salaries themselves. And the local governments have no one case that we know of anybody who is not being paid.
Therefore, he called on the public to disregard false and fake news from unpatriotic citizens who want to politicize the salary issues. In his response to some questions from journalists, the chairman, Nigerian Labour Congress State Chapter, Comrade Danjuma Saleh, commended the state government for the giant effort in solving the lingering salary issues.
In getting their salaries, these are the people that we are pursuing. We don't support somebody who will concoct the number of months and say that he has not been getting. Possibly he's not even a genuine worker. He will go to the media or somewhere and start blustering or talking about this and that. So now the government has put in place machineries for collecting a genuine list of such genuine individuals, starting from each and every ministry. The government has directed that as from now to the end of the month, the permanent secretary, director of finance, SO, and the rest of them are subject to responsibility of compiling the list of the genuine workers who have not been getting their salaries.
He said that the union will continue to support the interests of their members as well as commitment to plight of the genuine workers. It could be recalled that the state workers accused the government for not giving them the salary, leave grant, gratuity, and promotions as at when due since the inception of the present administration. Adam Imam, Trust TV News, Bauchi.
And now to political matters, where the governor-elect of Ekiti State and candidate of the All Progressives Congress in the June 18th governorship election, Biodun Oyebanji, and his deputy, Monishade Afwe, received their certificates of return. Speaking in Ado Ekiti after receiving his certificate, Oyebanji promised not to betray the confidence of Ekiti people who chose him among others. He said the introduction of the bimodal voter authentication system is a game changer in the country's electioneering process, adding that the poll was credible as it reflected the wishes of the people. Meanwhile, Nasarawa State Governor Abdullahi has disclosed plans by his administration to constitute a committee that will reconcile all aggrieved members of the All Progressives Congress APC in the state. The governor disclosed this on Tuesday when he presided over the monthly State Executive Council meeting at the Government House, Lafia. He said the committee will put up proper procedures to address any grievances. The state chapter of the party, according to reports, is enmeshed in a crisis following the outcome of the recently conducted primaries in the state. Nigerian political leaders have been advised to research and consult widely before coming on to a conclusion on the issue of a Muslim-Muslim or Christian-Christian ticket for the 2023 presidential election. Speaking with journalists in Ilorin after meeting with Governor Abdurrahman Abdurrazak, the General Superintendent of Deeper Life Bible Church, Pastor William Kumuyi, urged the presidential flag bearers to look at the heartbeat of the country and desires of the people before making their decisions. On the issues of insecurity in the country, he said, though the security agencies are doing their best, a lot more needs to be done to address the country's security challenges.
Area, and it's a little bit slippery. What I would say is the political officers should look at the heartbeat of the country, and they look at the desires of the people, and they're not there for themselves, they're there for us, and let them ask and make their research. What does the country want? What do the people want? And if they listen to the people at this time, we'll be confident that they'll listen to us when they get there. It's difficult to preempt issues, but you know, by the grace of God, I believe that the security agents are doing their level best. We can all improve. In every area of life, there's always room for improvement. So I would say in the security, there is a room for improvement, but I want to, credit our officers and those who are putting their lives on the line to secure the whole country. I think we should be praying for them, that God will give them more wisdom and more visible victory in the security of the country.
President Muhammadu Buhari on Wednesday departed Abuja for Kigali, Rwanda, to attend the 26th Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting, slated for June 20th to 26th, 2022. At the meeting, the President will join other leaders to participate in discussions focused on the progress and prosperity of more than 2 billion people living in the 54 independent countries in Africa, Asia, the Americas, Europe, and the Pacific that make up the Commonwealth. The theme for the meeting in 2022 is delivering a common future, connecting, innovating, transforming. The heads of government are expected to reaffirm their commitment to upholding the Commonwealth Charter, which focuses on democracy, human rights, the rule of law, as well as economic opportunities and sustainable development. Buhari will attend the official opening ceremony on June 24th, followed by high-level meetings of heads of state and government on Friday 24th and Saturday 25th June, according to a statement by his spokesman, Femi Adesina. You're watching Trust TV News Update. And still to come on the news, major breakthrough in the fight against drugs. Details of this and more after the break. Do stay with us.
As the 2023 elections draw near, remember, evil prospers when good men and women only wish for peace, but never take a step to make peaceful elections happen. Are you a father? Are you a mother? What are you saying to your children as elections approach? Have you warned them not to let themselves be used to cause violence? Have you explained to them what the consequences of electoral violence might be? Do your part to make peaceful elections happen. Talk to your children. Protect them from unscrupulous politicians who want to put them in harm's way. while their own children are comfortable at home, within and outside the country. Let's join hands to make 2023 elections peaceful. This message is from the National Orientation Agency, NOAA.
Welcome back, and thanks for staying with us on Trust TV News Update. Now another look at our top stories. Federal government universities to open soon, and Senate to screen ministerial nominees next Wednesday. Now moving on to other news now. The Nigerian Bar Association says there is an urgent need for fundamental reforms and administration and governance of the Nigerian judiciary. In a press statement issued by the President, Olumide Akpata, the NBA described as disheartening and unfortunate the conditions highlighted in the letter written by 14 justices of the Supreme Court of Nigeria to the Chief Justice of Nigeria, alleging various improprieties and administrative inefficiencies, and the subsequent response of the CJN. The NBA noted that the situation has not only affected the judicial responsibilities of the justices, but also impacted on the justice administration process. While advocating for the independence and financial autonomy of the judiciary, the NBA also noted that it is important that the judiciary must be seen as being above board and transparent in the management and allocation of resources currently available to it. Meanwhile, the Kebbi State Chief Judge Suleiman Mohammed Ambursa has ordered the release of over 200 inmates in correctional facilities across the state as part of efforts to decongest the facilities. Hamza Galadima reports that the order, which came after a visit by the Chief Judge to prisons, followed the receipt of a letter from the Correctional Service lamenting the congestion in the facilities. The report.
The prison visit was initiated by the Kebbi State Judiciary in response to a letter by the Correctional Service in Kebbi to the Chief Judge lamenting on the congestion in the prisons across Kebbi State. During the visit, the Kebbi State Chief Judge Suleiman Mohammed Ambursa ordered the release of over 200 inmates, some of whom have been in prison for over 5 years without trial. The Chief Registrar of the Kebbi State High Court, Hussein Abdullahi Zuru, while speaking to journalists on the visit, said 117 inmates were released unconditionally, while another 26 inmates were released on bail, and also directed that the trial of another 79 inmates should be, and also directed that another 29 inmates should be taken to court immediately for their trials to commence.
A letter through the monitoring committee that their correctional centers were full of capacity. They have their capacity. So the inmates are beyond the capacity of the centers. So based on it, we invited all the members. Then we went there. The chief registrar and the secretary of the monitoring committee. So far, so good.
Earlier during the visit, the Kebbi State Chief Judge Suleiman Mohammed Ambursa advised the benefiting inmates to turn a new leaf and see no more, so as to reciprocate the good gesture extended to them. He said his visit to the two main facilities in Birnin Kebbi was aimed at decongesting the prisons as part of efforts to give every inmate fair hearing. Hamza Galadima Zulu reporting for Trust TV News from Birnin Kebbi.
And the Adamawa State Command of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency has arrested 296 drug offenders and seized 3,107.7 kilograms of different illegal drugs. The State Commandant of the NDLEA, Femi Agbolu, made the disclosure at a press briefing in Yola to mark the United Nations International Day Against Drug Abuse and Illicit Drug Trafficking. Salis Lawan reports that the arrests and seizures were made between June 2021 and May 2022. The report.
The briefing is in commemoration of the International Day Against Drug Abuse and Illicit Drug Trafficking, which is celebrated annually, with the team addressing drug challenges in health and humanitarian crisis. The Adamawa State Commander, Femi Abuolu, said it is a clear call to address transnational drugs challenges arising from crisis. It is also aimed at protecting the right to health for the most vulnerable, including children and youth, people using drugs, those with disorders, and those who need access to controlled medicines.
We recorded a total seizure of 2,702.167 kilograms in the period under review. Tramadol, which is a controlled drug that has found way to, on the streets of our country. We have tramadol 146.806 kilograms. Codeine-based syrup, we have a total drug seizure of 61.440 kilograms. Cocaine, which is a type of drug. Cocaine, we have a total seizure of 0.013 kilograms.
The commander said the command had counseled and rehabilitated 45 drug dependents in the period under review, while 104 drug offenders were prosecuted in the court of law. He said there are 71 pending cases, while 51 have been convicted.
We also have phenobarbital with a total seizure of 2.29 kilograms. And in the course of our job, in the course of enforcement, we came across ammunition, 28 rounds of live ammunition, and one locally made pistol with a military camouflage.
He also commanded the resilience of officers and men of NDLEA while reiterating commitment toward ridding the state of illicit drugs, drug abuse and trafficking. The State Command has organized a week-long activity to mark the 2022 World Drug Day. From Yola, Salis Lawan, Trust TV News.
The acting governor of Kaduna State, Hadiza Balarabe, has charged the first batch of the state's intending pilgrims to Saudi Arabia to be good ambassadors of the state and the country. The acting governor, while speaking at the farewell visit to the intending pilgrims before their airlift at the Mando Hajj Transit Camp on Tuesday, appealed to them to pray for Kaduna State and the country. The report.
Dr. Hadiza Balarabe charged the intending pilgrims to conduct themselves in a manner that is worthy of emulation by other pilgrims, adding that such behavior will bring honor to Kaduna State and Nigeria.
Our message to them is we want them to be good ambassadors of not only Kaduna State but Nigeria as a whole. They should conduct themselves in a manner that is worthy of emulation by each and every pilgrim that would be there in the Holy Land. And we also urge them to make out the time, since it is a time for prayer and a time for reflection, that they should make out the time to pray for the country, pray for Kaduna State, pray for our leaders.
In his remarks, the Executive Secretary of the Kaduna State Pilgrims Welfare Agency, Dr. Yusuf Yakubu, commended the state government for taking measures to ensure a hitch-free exercise. Lami Sadiq for Trust TV News, Kaduna.
And the Nigerian Postal Service, NIPOST, will collaborate with the Nigeria Railway Corporation, NRC, on the movement of cargo and other postal services to boost Nigeria's economy. Postmaster General of the Federation, Ismail Adebayo Adewisi, who stated this when he met with the Managing Director and CEO of the NRC, Fidet Okhiria, in Abuja, said the collaboration is geared towards taking advantage of NRC's extensive rail networks on the movement of cargo and mail items across Nigeria. According to him, in the past, NIPOS had a robust relationship with the NRC that needs to be rekindled, adding that the collaboration between both agencies will shorten delivery time and enhance quality of service. Responding, Ohiria expressed willingness to partner with NIPOS for enhanced economic growth. Now for a look at the international scene, where in Afghanistan the death toll from a magnitude 5.9 earthquake has reached 1,000, with over 1,500 others injured in the provinces of Paktika and Khost. Authorities say hundreds of homes have been destroyed in the underdeveloped region. Tremors could be felt in neighboring Pakistan and Iran, where there were no immediate reports of damage or casualties. The quake struck hardest in the rugged terrain of the east, where people already live hard-scrabble lives in a country in the grip of a humanitarian disaster made worse by the Taliban takeover in August. The death toll has climbed steadily all day as news of casualties filtered in from hard-to-reach areas in the mountains. And the country's supreme leader, Hibatullah Akhundzada, warned it will likely rise further. South Korea has reported its first imported case of monkeypox on Wednesday, becoming the latest of some 40 countries and the first in East Asia to have identified the disease. According to Korea Disease Control and Prevention Agency Chief Paek Kyung-ran, a South Korean national in their 30s who arrived from Germany on Tuesday is confirmed to have contacted the viral disease. Paek urged people to report to authorities if they showed any symptoms after visiting countries coping with monkeypox infections, stressing it is the most important thing in preventing the spread. And that wraps up Trust TV News Update for this hour. Don't forget, you can subscribe to watch us live on YouTube and of course follow us across all our social media platforms. I am Ibrahim Yusuf. Thanks for watching.